I wasn't very creative when I was in high school. I don't know if you were.
No, I certainly wasn't versed at all on climate change, because when I was going to high school, you know, they weren't talking about that. I mean, it just wasn't even in the vernacular, you know. But I have a resident expert with me, our own Ryan Wilson, who shares an office with your communications department. I'm really proud of the work that's gone on. You know, Bloomberg has proven to be a good partner for us, and these small grants that we get can really be impactful, and it really challenges and gets the community involved. And I think with our kids, especially, although I think the eligibility is 15 to 24 on this one, so I wouldn't say kids like young kids, but these are reasonable young adults that are going to live in a future that's going to be facing climate change. So this is a great way to engage them, get them thinking. So I'm going to turn over to Ryan here to give a little bit more insight to this program. So Ryan, you're on, baby. Welcome.
Yeah, well, it's really exciting, the Youth Climate Action Fund, because we get to tap into our youth who are really creative. They have incredible ideas, and they're going to be able to use our knowledge here in Hawaii to be like a leader for the entire world about how to address climate change. And that's a really exciting thing, is that, you know, we can show off our wisdom, our knowledge to everyone, because there are so many cities around the globe that are involved with this program. So they're going to be able to learn from us, which is really great. The other thing about it is that we want to get these projects going sooner rather than later. Like in the next 2 months, we want to be able to issue the money so that those projects are happening, are actually occurring like before the end of the year, so that they're out there creating their projects, doing their thing, and making a real difference in climate change. This is not like a, you know, 2-3 years down the line kind of thing, addressing climate change. It's not like a planning thing. It's like a, let's make something happen immediately.
Yeah, I love that. And I have to believe there's a lot of young people who've had a lot of ideas and thoughts. What a great venue to showcase that.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that, you know, as island dwellers, and given the fact that we're the most isolated people on a planet, when you look at the geography of things, we should be a leader, because that isolation, that vulnerability, and the fact that we are resilient as a people should lend itself to us doing these groundbreaking things. I mean, it's conducive to that just out of survival, right? And I think these young people coming up are probably much more versed than we ever were when we were younger, and they probably have a lot of good ideas going, and there's a great chance to bring those ideas to fruition.
So one of the reasons that we got involved with this was because of the Honolulu Youth Commission. Yeah. We just swore in a bunch of new youth commissioners last week, and all of them are really excited and passionate and enthusiastic about climate change and dealing with that. And so you can hear them talking about it with this really in-depth knowledge and awareness of the topic, and this passion to actually do something about it. And that's why this is so,
I agree.
An incredible opportunity.
You know, years ago when we were working together at Hawaii News Now, one of the last things we did was I raised a bunch of money, and we did those 3 documentaries, all on climate change. And we did that not for traditional trying to showcase programming to get ratings, if you will. We did it because we really felt that there was a lot of information out there that needed to be shared, and there was seemingly nobody really doing it. And we thought we would create these 3 90-minute documentaries, which were ended up being award-winning documentaries to use as a curriculum in the schools. In fact, what was one of the things when we completed them, we sent them out to the DOE, we sent them to all the private schools, and it was all designed to educate, inform, and do that. But part of the way when I was raising the money, I would say to them, I said, look, you and I are talking to adults, the CEOs in town. I said, we can have a conversation about climate change, and I guarantee you it's one kind of conversation based on where you are in life, what you've been exposed to, what you experience, what you think this is all about. So you sit down and have a conversation with a young kid about climate change and listen to what they say. That's a very different reality, because the future that they're looking at is very much threatened by this. And that is more than just scary. The harshness of that reality, that this is upon us, has got people thinking, young people thinking in ways that you and I never had to. And honest to God, every time I said that, they had like an epiphany. They said, how much you need? You know, it was a little bit like that, because I found it to be very true. I was talking to school kids, and we'd gone in there, and there was not only genuine fear, but it was the attitude like, okay, what we can do about it? What can we do about it? So this is a great thing about that.
That's exactly right, and it really empowers them because we're giving away up to $4,999. People can apply now. They can go to resilientoahu.org, but it addresses exactly what you're talking about, Mayor, the sense of helplessness.
Yeah.
And now young people can take real action.
Right, and nobody wants to feel helpless. And we certainly owe it to, we talk all the time here, the things we're doing today and the benefit it has for future generations. Well, for all the technology that we're investing in and trying to improve and things that we're doing in housing and Skyline and just all these things that work towards the future, this is also on the agenda, very much so, is to try to leave us in a place or create this, for the city itself, the best we can possibly do given the elements we're up against. So I'm bravo on this. Thank you to Bloomberg. I appreciate personally all your work on this, Ryan, but I'm really excited to see what these kids come up with. I think we're going to see some really cool stuff.
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So Ryan, any key deadlines, details that you want folks to know about?
So the deadline is September 7th.
That's soon.
That's really soon. So apply immediately. And if you know somebody in your community, if you know a kid, somebody from 15 to 24, so it could be a college age, it could be somebody who's recently graduated, let them know about this because we want to get this into the hands, into the minds of as many people as possible. Go to resilientoahu.org.
Yeah, I want to say that again because sometimes giving out websites and stuff, I think it's Resilient Oʻahu, resilientoahu.org. Really simple, lots of information there. Please, if you're interested in it, go for it. This is a great opportunity. You never know, and it would be exciting for us to embrace your ideas, and who knows what comes of that. So it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, and what kind of, September 7th is really soon, so what kind of ideas are we talking about here? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to, not me, I don't know if people are going to be able to come up with an idea by September 7th on how we're going to, stop global warming, stop erosion, what kind of ideas are you talking?
Really good point, Brandy. The thing is that there isn't really a structured idea about, okay, you must meet these qualifications for a project. We're hoping that youth come with a whole bunch of different ideas, but just a couple examples of what that might look like would be a community garden. Maybe you want to work on a lo'i or rehabilitate a fish pond, or this is a really interesting one that they did down in Australia. A young person put together a documentary on the 7 seasons of Australia, and it's not broken down into 4 seasons like winter, spring, summer, fall, like we have up in the northern hemisphere and traditional Western cultures. They broke it down into 7, and so it was really a thoughtful approach to resiliency, climate change, all of those kind of aspects. So if somebody has an idea about, I want to put together a documentary about Native Hawaiian intelligence and wisdom and knowledge about climate and addressing that kind of thing, that could be a qualifying project.
Interesting. Brandy, I think we should have Ryan on the show more often. I'm learning more stuff from this guy about this than I thought I would. This is great. Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be, it can't really be, I don't think, it's short notice. And nobody's walking around with these ideas in the hip pocket. But I think there's genius and simplicity, but things that have an impact, and everybody can do things that contribute towards climate change. I think it's a chance to celebrate these kind of clever ideas that could make a big difference if done not just by an individual, but in the collective. But it's an opportunity for an individual to showcase a good idea that could catch on.